here in our programme. Well, for that, let's return to our main story. Donald Trump firing his Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. No advance warning for him. It is reported he saw Trump's tweet the same time the rest of us did. Let's go to Washington. More reaction. Let's speak to Bonjean, who's a Republican Party strategist with close ties to the White House. So welcome here to the programme. So what do you make of this sacking?
Thank you. Well, you know what, I think most people in Washington were expecting it. What was shocking to all of us here and around the world is that it happened so fast and so abruptly, but not necessarily a surprise. You know, the president and Rex Tillerson were at odds across the board on a variety of issues, but I don't think the president really ever got over Rex Tillerson calling him a moron and refusing to refute that he did so. And I think those type of things stick with the president quite a bit. But you know, the people in the cabinet secretaries do serve at the pleasure of the president. And look, Chief of Staff John Kelly did call Rex Tillerson, according to the White House, on Friday and Saturday, and warned him that he should step down, or else an announcement could be made imminently. Tillerson, of course, cut his Africa trip short and did come home, but this is quite a surprise to all of us.
It is. Just a quick point, because you touched on it. Do you think the president wants to deliberately humiliate people he sacks? Because not just this occasion, but one remembers the Comey sacking. That was done away from Washington. A lot of talk the president was irritated that he was able to actually get the plane back to D.C. I mean, why does he do it that way?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, you know, the president's chief of staff did call the secretary, according to the White House, to warn him that something could happen if he did not, you know, if he didn't follow suit. But, you know, as we all know, President Trump does like high drama, and he does like television ratings. And this was definitely one of the most highly rated days probably of the past week or so. So one is not clear, you know, one can't explain necessarily what the president did, why he did it, but most likely it's for the high ratings.
Is one explanation in terms of why he actually sacked him in the first place is that simply Rex Tillerson is too independently minded?
Well, Rex Tillerson was not acting as the official spokesman for the president on the international stage. He did not have the credibility because he separated himself from the president on quite a number of issues, from everything from the Iran agreement to the, leaving the Paris Climate Accord. I mean, there was just a whole host of things that they didn't see eye to eye on. And now with CIA Director Mike Pompeo as the incoming Secretary of State, you have someone that has the trust of the president, and the world will, and on the world stage, world leaders will know that with Pompeo speaking directly to them, that he's speaking on behalf of the president.
It is an awful lot for the new man to get to grips with, the knowledge that we're only a few weeks away from that meeting with Kim Jong-un, and the bulk of that preparatory work comes from the State Department that is said to have very, very low morale, given the dealings between the State Department and the president.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I think, you know, Pompeo does have a lot of work ahead of him. But what world leaders know is that when Pompeo speaks, he's speaking on behalf of the president. You know, Pompeo did a daily briefing did a daily briefing with the president on intelligence matters, and has had the trust of him for the past 14 months. So when we hear Pompeo speak, it's usually on behalf of the president. The one stark difference is over Russia. Pompeo has been very strong rhetorically on Russia and the meddling in the 2016 elections. That's the only difference I see between the two. But the president knows that he has the air. He has a person that is going to go out and meet with world leaders on his behalf, and he knows that there will be no monkey business, so to speak.
All right, Bonjean, we've run out of time, but thank you for your time. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Now, still to come on today's Global, it is claim and counterclaim. Britain and Russia in a war of words over the Russian spy